Welcome to the channel, welcome back to the channel. I'm Andrew Wolfe, and today we're going to be talking about Boulder, Colorado, and also Denver, Colorado. We're going to be talking about what $800,000 gets you guys from a purchase price perspective in both of these cities. Well, you got to pick something, and that's going to be close, a little bit above the average purchase price in Denver, a little bit less than the average purchase price in Boulder, but it's also a fairly common budget for people who are moving to Colorado from outside of the state. So I want to start there. All right, a big picture look at both these markets. Boulder is going to have lower inventory and generally speaking higher pricing, especially per square foot, but it's going to have access to an outdoor lifestyle that a lot of people love. Denver's going to have lower pricing, a little bit better availability and more variety, and access to a downtown lifestyle that other people find really attractive. So what does $800,000 get you in Boulder? Well, generally speaking, you're going to be looking at a condo, a townhouse, or a smaller single-family home. And people really value location in a unique way. Rather than being close to like restaurants or downtown, though those are great options, a lot of people want to target being close to the outdoors, towards biking and hiking trails with great views of the beautiful nature that Boulder has to offer. You can, generally speaking, expect fewer bedrooms, a little smaller square footage, smaller yards than you might see in other places, because people tend to value their lifestyle outside of their home much more than they value inside their home when looking to shop in Boulder. Things to look for and target if you're in the $800,000 price point in Boulder: East Boulder, Martin Acres, Gun Barrel, or maybe a smaller condo in the downtown area are going to be really great options that you can try to find good value for that $800,000 price point. So some of the trade-offs you're going to see in Boulder is, for that price, you're generally going to see smaller square footage, or if you go for something attached like a condo or townhouse, maybe slightly higher HOA fees, but the access to nature is just unmatched anywhere in the state. All right, so now what does $800,000 get you in Denver? Well, generally speaking, you can get a larger single-family home you can get in Boulder, maybe in a little bit more sought-after neighborhood, larger square footages, more bedrooms, garages at that price point in Denver, or even a very high-end condo or townhouse if that's what you're looking to experience. Some great neighborhoods to target would include Sloan's Lake, West Wash Park, the Highlands, some really great sought-after neighborhoods. You can get into them for $800,000 in Denver without much trouble. All right, some lifestyle trade-offs. You're going to get more space, generally speaking, like we talked about larger homes and larger properties in Denver. And if you really love that nightlife and that urban pulse that a city's going to offer, Denver's the obvious choice, right? It just has that in spades over Boulder. You're not going to have what Boulder has as far as the access to nature and the access to walkability, really beautiful scenery. You're going to be in a city. It's going to be a bit of a concrete jungle, but that can be a really great perk for some people's lifestyles. All right, so when you're looking at other costs, taxes are going to be pretty similar and, generally speaking, a little bit more affordable than you might see in other states around the country. HOA fees and utility costs can vary pretty wildly, as can the cost of living. But I would say, as a rule, you can probably expect those both to be a little bit elevated relative to the average around the country. Now, what does long-term stability and long-term return look like? Well, at a high level, Boulder is, generally speaking, going to have a little better return. Especially, it's going to be really insulated from some of the variability we might see in other large cities. Particularly what we've seen lately with the increased mortgage rates and things coming out of the pandemic. Denver saw a flattening in their values, whereas Boulder generally saw an increase. Now, if you're a person who wants to take advantage of potentially development, adding an ADU, knocking down a property, building a duplex, something along those lines, Denver's going to offer a lot more availability to do that. Boulder tends to have a little bit more of a challenge in increasing the number of properties and development, whereas Denver's going to be a little more receptive to that. So if you are looking at it from a development perspective, or you want to add on to your home, it's probably going to be easier to do that in Denver than it is in Boulder. So which makes the most sense for you? What is the better fit? I would say, well, if you value, nature-based lifestyle, a smaller hometown feel, a little bit more flexibility and less of the urban buzz, Boulder is going to be the clear fit, especially if you're comfortable in like a little bit smaller home and you want to have that long-term security versus the ability to turn a property a little more quickly and get a turn of profit fast. Now, Denver, if you like that urban buzz, or if you're into flipping homes or flipping townhouses, that's probably going to be a better option because you can get that return a lot faster as you have a lower cost of entry and a little bit easier to develop and build. And yeah, $800,000 is a good budget for either of these cities, and we can definitely put you in a home you'll love right in that range. So my phone number and email are right there in the byline, so go ahead and give me a call, text, whatever works for you guys. Happy to connect, and I would love to connect directly. I love these videos, I love getting to connect like this, but it's even more fun for me to connect in person. But again, this is Andrew Wolfe. Love talking about Boulder, but love to talk to you directly. See you guys soon.